Hey everybody, it's Coach Lisa with the Running University, and I am doing one of my favorite videos that I get to do every month, which is interviewing the amazing ladies in the TRU tribe. And the reason I like to share these out with you guys is because you can hear some of the things that they're going through, and you can realize that, hey, we're all in here just needing some connection and helping each other out, basically. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Lindsay.
Hello, hi.
And Lindsay, I think you said, I don't feel like I've been in long enough, but I think it's been a couple of years that you've been in the tribe. So you're definitely a solid and a lifetime member also.
Yes, and a lifetime member. So for sure, I'm super
Yes.
happy to be here. So
Yes. You're with me for life now, so you can't get away. I always like to start the conversation with how you remember that. How did I come into your life? Or how did you find out about me and the TRU tribe?
awesome. I love this because being somebody who's extroverted, I will talk to random people at events and whatnot. And I ran into this woman named Keisha who is in the tribe. And we started talking, we exchanged phone numbers, and she invited me to a Trail Sisters run actually that you were hosting. And then it was kind of, for me, love at first sight in terms of experience of the sharing the group and all of that. And so I found you through Keisha. And so I'm forever grateful to her for introducing me to you and the incredible group of women that we run with and walk.
Yay. I love that. That's it. They're all, every time I hear a story like this one sticks in my mind, I love it because there's a funny story about Keisha when she met me, which is, I like to say my first claim to fame because it was the same event actually at Vertigo. And I remember she just came up to me and she was like, are you the running university? Like I was like, famous, and she was a big fan, and I was like, yes. And it was just really super sweet because she was like, I follow you, and I just love it. So I love that triple that what do you call that effect where now she shared it with you and now here you are. And very cool. So and also, like, so people that are watching this, I usually say part of my mo or my niche, as I always say, I'm catering to women over 50, right? Part of it's a marketing thing. Obviously, we have younger people in the tribe, and Lindsay is one of them. I don't know if you care to share your
Yeah,
age.
so I'm 44, though
Okay.
I often get mistaken for a little bit younger with my rosy cheeks and skin. So yay for genetics. That's what I was.
Yay! And one of the great things that we do promote in the tribe is this idea of embracing the aging process, right? Because it is what it is. So I love that I think our youngest people are in their 30s. So we have people from their mid 30s to our mid 60s, I think, which is so inspiring, right? Both ways. It goes both ways. Like the older people inspire the younger people, and the younger people inspire the older people.
Yeah, I love it because you also learn things from different people. The different generations teach each other, and that's something that I really enjoy about the tribe as well.
So much. Yes, I totally agree. Do you remember when you started running and why?
So I actually started running in high school, and it's kind of a funny story. I wanted to get a Letterman's jacket, and my parents said, well, cross country is a really nice, easy way of getting a Letterman's jacket. And so I started as a freshman and I started running, and I got my Letterman's jacket when I was still in junior high. And I loved running all through school. And then I ran a little bit, for fun in college and things like that, and then took a pretty significant break. And then around I'd say 2015 is when I really started getting back into running again. And then ever since then, it's been, moving from 5 and 10Ks up to half marathons, and then from road to trail, and kind of where I am now, really enjoying, the variety of distances, more centralized on trails these days. But I definitely have some road races coming up where I'm trying to train my feet a little bit more again.
Yes, which is I didn't know that story about the Letterman jacket. That's cool. So I remember you saying in a spotlight that you started younger and then stopped, which is, I think a lot of women in the tribe have done that. They're either brand new and they start later in their life, right? Or they used to, and it's almost like they're starting over again because, like, 10, 15, 20 years have gone by and they're starting over. That's so cool. That's funny because I was not, my history, I was not into sports when I was younger. And so I remember I got a letter for academics, but I never got a jacket. And I don't know why I didn't. Like, it's kind of like I never went to prom either. I know we're totally getting off topic, but it's kind of fun because, like, I never went to prom. I had a boyfriend who was older than high school, so I never went to prom, and I should have went to prom. Anyway.
I did all the fun things in school. I was definitely, I think one of the things to be there is I'm definitely a joiner. So I love joining. And I think that's one of the things that's resonated with the tribe is it has allowed me to join something in Arizona when I moved here and really just gotten to know people and feel a part of something. And that, it sounds so cheesy, but that's one of the things that means the most to me about what you do and how you bring us together.
Oh, I love that. And so funny because I've been talking to people lately about this. And I always say you really just can't get it until you're in it and you feel it with our group. And maybe that's it in general. So anybody who's watching this, like, have you ever just joined a group of people and just immediately like click, like everything just feels so good about it? And as we age, again, women especially, it's really important to stay connected. I mean, the blue zones, they're areas that are women, or not women, people over 100 years old. So they found these cities and one of the key things that keeps people alive longer is connection, is being socially connected with people. It's so important. And I always say the tribe, walking and running, brings us together as a community, but then it's really the community that keeps us together. It's like the glue, right? So yeah, talk to me a little bit about, so you said you went from road to trail, that's kind of like, I like to get women into running first. And then of course, usually I'm like, okay, let's get you on a trail. So what made you decide to do trails?
I'd been doing a lot of the road races and half marathons, and I stumbled upon what they call, it was just a trail series. And I thought, I'm going to try something different because you get a little bit running the road all the time. I just feel like it's a little bit mundane. And I was looking for a change. And I ran a trail run in the midst of one of my busier running years. And I just fell in love. It was an incredible experience, all the elevation. I was up in the Northwest, so trees and streams and just the beautiful fresh air. It reinvigorated me about running. And so it gave me a new passion. And something I've done is I've actually drug a lot of road runners to these small trail events to get them to run trails. And now some of them have done, 50Ks and other things on trails, which is pretty cool.
Yay, that is amazing. That is awesome. And that's another thing that I think we try to promote in the tribe is this idea of first time experiences, right? Like, yeah, I mean, there's so many, like with running, you could go into triathlons, you could go on a trail, you could do obstacle, like there's a lot of different opportunities and options for people. So once you kind of either get bored or, it's dabbling into something new, or like I like to get people doing their first night trail run. I'm all the people who are like, I'll never trail run, I'll never night run, and now I'll never ultra run. I'll never coach. Anyway, and here we are. So yeah, that's awesome. And I love it. That's the other thing I love about our group is that we love to encourage other women. I mean, it's kind of like this women uplifting women. It's so important as, again, as we age and that we have this connection together. What would you say? So what's your longest distance that you've done so far?
The longest distance I've run is a marathon. I've only run one, and I often forget it because I ran it as a part of the Dopey Disney event where you run a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. And I felt like I was crawling the last 6.2 miles. I ended up with horrible blisters. And so I don't feel like I actually ran a marathon. I completed a marathon. And so that's probably why I often forget that I have in fact completed the 26.2 miles.
Okay, I'd say fair enough. But also, because I do remember reading in your spotlight that was, which is amazing. Like, think about what you're saying, right? Like you did a 3 miles on one day, then you did a 10K the next day, which is 6 miles, then 13 miles the next day, and then 26. So I think if you didn't run the whole thing, it's totally okay. Yeah. That's an amazing, epic
It was
thing. I mean, that's like, I mean, I know it's over days, but that's, that's ultra distancing over days, right? Like it's a stage race. It's a stage race, basically.
Oh, there you go. Now I don't have to be so scared of something like that.
That's right. Exactly. You just did a stage race. Yeah. We got to get you to Moab and Trans Rockies soon. No, anyway, it's a whole other conversation. What would you say, why did you start running again, like later in your life?
It was for fitness and for fun, trying to get back to something that I enjoyed. I really got a lot of joy out of running. And then also, I mean, it goes back to the community. So I've lived alone for many years, and really just meeting up with people, getting to know people. People in the running community it just feels like by nature a bit nicer and more welcoming. And so you find yourself with friends that maybe you didn't expect to have.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. You meet, to your point earlier, you meet people of all ages, all sizes, all backgrounds. And that's one of the reasons I got back into running, and one of the reasons I've stuck with it. Consistency is my nemesis, which is always there. So one of my favorite things I say to myself is starting over yet again, but I keep coming back to the start line. I keep coming back, and there's obvious reasons for that. So
Yes, that's awesome. And just to have something that you can go back to. It's like I've had a few people in the tribe even say, like something weird happens and they're out for a while, right? Like they're still members, but they're not as, engaged or whatever. But they know that they can, like a year can go by and they can come back in, and it's as if like they never left. Like we keep welcoming them with open arms, and life happens. I mean, so I think but to have something that you can go back to and find, know that that's like almost a guarantee, right? And the running community, yes, and I would even go to say even more like the trail community. I hate to, road running is a whole different like cup of tea, I would say, but when it comes to community, the trail community is just like you said, sizes don't matter, age doesn't matter. I mean, if anybody's watching this again and you have any hesitation, I can't stress it, just reach out to me. This is literally what I do, is I help people just get through that, like, scary out of your comfort zone thing, and then you get in with all these amazing ladies, and before you know it, you're doing something crazy. Like what's on your bucket list?
So on my bucket list is to do an ultra. That is one of my bucket lists. I think that's probably all that's on my bucket list right now. I would love to run trails in more locations. So outside of the US, I've run a road race in Paris, but that was a while ago now. And so trying trails in other places, I think, is probably what's next for me. I'm interested in one of those running vacations where you go and you run and do a bunch of runs in different locations around.
Yeah. I think it's the Vacation Races that does those. Vacation Races might be one of the companies, I think, at least.
Yes. Awesome. So that definitely is, that's on my list of things to do as vacations go.
That's cool. And because you do like traveling as one of your pastimes also.
Yes, I travel quite frequently, which does sometimes get in the way of running. And so, I have to make adjustments and do those kind of things. But yes, I like to adventure, and sometimes it can involve running, and other times it involves things like Disneyland.
Yes, which is totally fun.
It's very fun. Lots of walking. So at least I'm getting my steps in.
Exactly. And again, I can't reiterate this enough for people listening to this is, I say I'm a running and walking coach. My business has been transitioning, and I've really focused on running from the beginning, but trail running and ultra running is going to include walking. It just is what it is. And so now I'm expanding, and even just, I'm gonna say just, because we always say don't use the word just, like just walking is amazing. It's a great activity. You can do races and you don't even have to run a bit. You can literally hike the whole thing, and that's mostly trail races. So, I just want to give a shout out to the walkers out there to say that you don't have to run. Walking's great. If you're interested in running, it's easy, especially if you do technique, which is something we haven't really been able to do yet. We'll get there, with the chi running and chi walking. You haven't, you get the videos in the tribe, obviously, that you can see, but
I was thinking about that today, actually, on my run, as I was working on the upper body run. I was thinking, I really got to get that time with Lisa to go through the full.
That's cool. That's cool. So you were talking about why you started running and then you stopped for a while. And you said, you kind of do the starting over thing, which we could talk about from a mindset standpoint. I literally texted somebody this morning who was saying, I'm starting over again. And I'm like, we need to reframe this, but we'll get to that later. Why do you keep running? What keeps you running?
I run for my mental health primarily. I struggle with a lot of depression and anxiety. And so when I'm in a funk, it's really hard to get up and go running. But what's important is when I go running, I feel significantly better. So, for example, going through some stress stuff at work and a life change, and I could totally cocoon and be at home and not go running. But instead, like this morning, I went out and I got to enjoy the beauty of the trails behind my house. And I just feel so much better. I'm able to address the day, I'm able to address challenges. I don't feel as anxious when I'm running consistently. And so for me, it's just a huge like lifesaver for me. It's like that lifeline that I can always go back to, even if it's the slowest run I'm having in a week, or even if it is walking 3 miles. It's at least something to get me outside in the fresh air and just enjoying what is around me and being grateful for, the body and life that I do have. It is a great situation.
I just love that so much. I just love how you said that. And also, again, because a lot of people, when they think about running, they think about it as a physical, and it is, right? It's great for physical, whatever. And we don't focus on weight loss. And again, this is really about just being in your body and feeling good. And, I think people don't think about how much the mental health and the running is, as much as like we do races and we focus on goals with running, but to have this as just part of your lifestyle, which is, again, one of the things I try to impart in the TRU Tribe is we're trying to make walking and running a lifestyle. And again, sometimes you're going to be out for a little bit or, because of life happening. But when you find a strong why, this is a very strong why, not for a race, but just to be able to get the movement. And yeah, who cares? Walking, running. Funny because I'm busy today and I went to my parents real quick and they're both not feeling 100%. And I wanted to get a walk in or a run something, but I knew I didn't have time. And literally my mom's like, do you want to just take Luigi, their dog, out for like 15, 20 minutes? And I did a story on my Instagram, like literally, because here I am, I'm like 15 minutes, right? And it's like, oh my God, this feels so good. So it is, I think the hardest part is getting out, right? Especially if you are suffering from depression and anxiety, is like just getting out the door. But man, it feels so good when you're in it. I was literally like, this is amazing. Like the sun's on me. I'm out smelling the, nature.
And the dog is happy. That's one of my other ways, is just making sure I continue to walk my dog just to get that extra level of movement. So even on rest days, I do walk Ollie, and how much he loves the outside just always reminds me that it's important to also embrace that.
Yes. Oh my God. That's so, like, literally I was talking because I was watching, because I don't have a dog. So I get to, walk Luigi once in a while when I'm at my parents' house, and to watch him, sniff around, like, if you think about a dog's brain, right, they're so present. Mm-hmm. There's only what's happening right now. And exactly, like, he's all happy. And I'm like, this is how it should be for all of us humans. Like, and I did, my post then became this, I get to versus I have to, right? Like a quick mindset reframe and like, oh, I have to go out. And sometimes it's because it's on the training plan, or you have to because you feel like you have to, versus, man, I'm just going to go out for a little bit and walk my dog, and it's a game changer.
Yes.
I love it. That's awesome. Is there anything before we wrap this up that you want to say either to anybody listening to this, or any final message for anybody they're thinking about getting into running or walking or...
I would say try to find a community, find a tribe, find a group of people that are like-minded and can support you and embrace you as you are. I think that's most important. And that's why the TRU Tribe for me has been such a blessing, is I'm not always confident. I'm not always as comfortable. And everyone celebrates the small wins that we have. They celebrate the big wins with us. And so for me, finding a community of people who are willing to support you and can support you, I think is what is like the most important message that I can share. I mean, I know I'm on your podcast, or sorry, but it is true. It's a thing and it's real.
Yeah, 200%. And again, if you're listening to this, our tribe members, sure, we're in Arizona, but I do have people that are across the country. I also have a woman in Mexico City. So I say we are international. And is it different when you get to be with people in person? Sure. But even having an online community, just like you said, is a game changer. And, you were just talking about some life changes in a new job, like you were struggling because of some things at your other job, right? And I am not going to say that the tribe is what got you to get a new job, but I think we have a lot of conversations about quality of life, right? And how important the quality of life is. So I'm excited for you to have some new things coming your way. And I'm a huge proponent of community. It doesn't have to be the tribe, you guys. Like seriously, like if you're watching this, we're very protective of our energy, and I really don't promote us as much as I need to, because I should be promoting it more. So again, I'm even saying just find a community of like-minded, whether it's women. We've all been in some of those communities where it's just negative and toxic. So find the right group of people that will accept you for who you are. I think you said that so beautifully. That's obviously what we do in the tribe, but again, just find some people that will love on you. Right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsay. I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me and sharing your wisdom with everybody else.
Always a pleasure. Thanks so much.